In this video, I'll show you how to use Adobe Illustrator to create a file that can be cut out on a laser engraver. So you want to start by opening Adobe Illustrator. You can find it by opening the Finder and going to Applications, and then finding the Adobe Illustrator CS3 folder, and then double-clicking on the app. Might take a little time to open up. The laser engraver needs information that's in what's called an RGB format, which stands for red, green, blue. So we're going to start by clicking Basic RGB Document, and we're going to make sure that these settings are set to the size of the laser engraver bed. So the width of the bed is 24 inches, so you want to make sure this is set to inches, 24 inches, and the height is 12. So 24 by 12, the color mode should be RGB. 24, 12 inches, RGB, OK. Alright, so it's good to know the size of things when you're doing your designing. So I like to always start by turning on my rulers. So under the view, right down in the middle, you can click on Show Rulers or hit Command R. You can see the rulers show up here. And then the laser engraver, the origin where 0, 0 is up in this left-hand corner. But in Adobe Illustrator, by default, 0, 0 is down here. So to redefine the origin, to put 0 and 0 here, I'm going to click on this little white square right here and drag it over to this corner. Alright, now you can see that the origin, where 0 and 0 start, is right here at this top left corner. And that's where it is inside of the laser engraver. Alright, now I'm going to need to import or place an image into this document. And not just any image will work. What's important is that it's a certain type of image called a vector image. And you can find those in some different search engines. If you just search for it on a Google image search, those images won't work. What you want to do is go to something like this site, which is openclipart.org. On Schoology, I have some other links to other sites where you can also find these vector images. And I want to cut it out, so a silhouette usually works well. So I've already gone ahead and searched for a tree silhouette, and I like this one here, Hearts Tree Silhouette by Karen Arnold. This one looks great. This one will be nice when it's cut out because they're large pieces. All of these heart-shaped leaves will fall out, and I'm actually going to use the paper that remains, and I'll throw away all the cutout parts. When you download this, you want to download the SVG file, which is this red file. So you saw something fell over there, so it went into my downloads folder. I'm going to go back to Illustrator here. It's in my downloads, but actually I'm going to find it by going into the file, and you want to go to place because we want to place it into the image. And I'll go to here. It is Hearts Tree Silhouette. Notice it's in my downloads folder. I'll hit place, and here it is. Alright, now I can move this around if I need to, and I can change the size. So if I'm going to cut this out, say of a piece of paper, that would be 8.5 by 11. This is too big right now because it goes all the way out here to say like 9.5 inches or something like that. So to make this smaller, I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go to this corner, and I'm going to drag it. But notice that if I drag it like this, then it gets all scrunched up. And that's not the way that the artist Karen Arnold intended it to be, so I'm going to undo that. Undo scale. And remember, if you want the scale to be constrained, you hold down the Shift key on the keyboard, and then you can grab a corner, and then notice that the ratio between the length and the width stay constrained. The other way that you can do this is by making sure that this chain link right here is turned on. Right now mine is turned on. Now it's off. Now it's on. And then I can just key in the width and the height that I want, and it'll automatically change the height or width accordingly. So if I say I want it 3 inches wide, I hit 3, and then I hit enter, and notice that it automatically changed the height. So for my test cut, this is probably works pretty well. It's 3 inches by about 3.6. So this will work great. Now the laser engraver interprets different colors for different types of cuts. If the color is black, like this is right now, then what it's going to do is it's going to engrave it. So what it's going to do is it's going to go back and forth like this, and it's going to burn every time that there's black color, and the white it's going to skip over. And I don't want to burn this away. What I want to do is I want to cut around the outside of each of these shapes. Now in Adobe Illustrator, the outline is called the stroke, and you can see there's this word stroke up here. And right now the stroke color, which is this one right here that has this red line through it, is set to nothing, set to transparent. And I want to set this to red. So notice it put a red outline on here. The laser engraver will interpret red, and if we look over here at the color panel, so you might need to turn that on and off right here, we want it to be pure red. So R stands for red, G stands for green, B stands for blue. We want the red turned all the way up to 255. We want the green turned all the way to 0, and the blue turned all the way to 0. If these are anything different, even a little bit, the laser engraver won't cut through. It won't follow around the perimeter of these shapes. It'll engrave it, and it won't cut out. So make sure that your stroke color is set to RGB red. That's 25500. All right. Now we don't want it to engrave this black part, so we want to make that white, or in this case, none. So you click on this first color square. That's what's called the fill, what fills in the shape, and you're going to click none. So now I have a red outline of everything I want cut out. Now there's one more setting that you need to set for the laser engraver to interpret this data as cutting, and that is the stroke weight. The stroke weight is really the width of the line that goes around the shape. And we want that to be set to a very small number, and that number is 0.001 inches. So see it, 0.001 inches, and then you hit enter, and notice it got very thin. If you zoom in, you can see it's still there. Now the laser engraver will take any stroke that is RGB red and 0.001 inches, and it will follow that with the laser beam, and it will cut out that shape. So when this one is done getting cut out, we'll have a tree with many little heart-shaped leaves. All right, so what I want to do last is save this and then share it over to the Google Drive folder. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Save As, or Save. I'm going to remember where I'm saving this to. I'll just save this, say, to the desktop, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Tree Cut Out for Lamp Test, because I'm just cutting this out to test to see what this is going to look like. And I'll hit Save. I'm remembering it's on my desktop. You could save it into your documents. Just remember where you saved it to. And all of this stuff should be okay, so you hit OK. And now it's saved. Tree Cutout for Lamp Test. All right. Now I need to get it to the computer that is connected to the laser engraver, and I'll do that through the magic of the cloud by logging into Google Drive. All right, here I am at Google Drive. I'm going to look in the shared with me and find the period that I'm in, say period 1 woodworking. And there aren't any files in here yet, but I'm going to add one. So I'm going to go to New File Upload. I'm going to remember where I saved that to. I saved it to my desktop. Here it is, the Tree Cutout for Lamp Test AI. And I'm going to choose that and it'll upload to that folder, and then through the magic of the cloud, it will be on the computer that is connected to the laser engraver, and I can go there and go ahead and use the laser engraver to cut it out.